Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show with authors from all over the world. I've got the next book for you. It's inspirational and also some opportunities for writers to travel and attend a conference. Let me introduce our guest who is with us today. Sorry, we rehearsed this. Shawn Langwell. He's the Inspiration and Boldness Guy. Welcome, Shawn.
Well, thanks for having me, Mike. Appreciate it.
And by the way, I want to talk to you about your book first and your inspiration, but in a few minutes, here's a poster, Sonoma County Writers Conference. We're going to get to that in a minute, so those of you who like to swipe away after a few seconds, stick around and you'll hear about that too. But Shawn, you are an inspirational guy. You sent me this great inspiration this morning, practical wisdom to live an extraordinary life. Can I read off some of these?
Absolutely. That's why I sent it to you, Mike. You get to be the expert.
And it's whether applied to artistic endeavors or just to build stronger personal relationships. Start your day with an attitude of gratitude. Stop the steady din of fear, doubt, worry, overthinking, and my thing, imposter syndrome, etc. before you even get out of bed in the morning. Silence your inner critics with effective and easy to practice insight strategies and tidbits of inspirational wisdom you can use throughout your day and awaken and embolden you to live a happier, more productive and meaningful life, fulfilling life. I was inspired by all those. Is that what your book's all about?
That's what this one is, Mike. And you had me on when I did my other book that was the impetus for this. It's all iterative. That book is called 10 Seconds of Boldness, which is why when you see on screen, I've got working on branding. I am the Inspiration and Boldness, not baldness, boldness guy. And a lot of that in this book is distilled down into bite-sized pieces that somebody can read in a couple minutes in the morning before they even get out of bed or wherever it's convenient. It's a small book that fits in a purse or a pocketbook or your back pocket.
Oh, nice, nice. Now, do you provide any strategies, practices that we could use?
Yeah, if you want, unlike 10 Seconds of Boldness, I purposely did not put a whole lot of executable strategies in here. Each chapter, if you will, is an executable practice. And think of it as like a daily meditation or an affirmation type of a book. Mm-hmm. They're short paragraphs. Inherent in each of those paragraphs is something that somebody can apply on a daily basis. And go ahead and continue on what you want to do, and I'll flip this open because I purposely wrote this book to where it doesn't have to be read cover to cover.
Okay.
There's logic behind the progression from a story standpoint, but it's purposely designed, and I didn't date it because I want people to be able to flip this open and say, I will until, and then read that page. So,
Shawn, there's those of us who study and read inspirations, read techniques, leadership books, how to be a better leader, inspirational books, self-improvement, if I can say, self-improvement books. Those of us who do that, we do it often, and we don't stop. I mean, we never say, oh, I've arrived, I'm good now. We seek another book and another book. But there's a lot of people who don't do that. They don't have a practice of reading and studying success and inspiration and things like that. Tell us about that.
So it's a practice that's happened. Just to give you a quick backstory, I know we don't have a whole lot of time. It's a practice I started probably going all the way back to 1986. So we're coming up on 40 years here, 4 decades of consistent practice. And it started, there's no secrets out there. My very first book was a memoir about my addiction and recovery journey called Beyond Recovery. I leveraged that into 10 Seconds of Boldness because I've also been in the corporate arena for over 3 decades in selling advertising. So I have been fully immersed into self-improvement, self-awareness, self-help, which I can't stand the term. It's all personal growth because it's not about self-help. And a lot of times that's a misnomer because we actually, to grow, and the coaches will tell you this too, in order to fully grow, you can't do it all yourself.
Right.
You need to ask for help, and ask any CEO or any executive, leadership coaches will attest to this too. You need to be humble enough to ask for help and say you don't have all the answers.
Right.
Ergo, I spent my entire life since I was 17, for all intents and purposes, learning about this stuff, going back to Tony Robbins, Wayne Dyer, and every other great that everybody knows about.
And the point I was trying to get to, those who do go through those programs and readings and studies. Again, we're not done. You got to keep going. So
you have to.
Yeah,
and that's why this book is here, Mike. It's a daily thing just to kind of jog your memory because we forget. We're human.
Yeah, and so I want to know how you get the people who aren't on that journey to get them on that journey. Well, one thought just popped in my head is I could buy these books and pass them out. I've done that many a times with these types of inspirational books, bought them and passed them out. So for our viewers, when you go to Amazon or wherever you want to buy the book, don't click once and order one. Click 10 times. Order a bunch of them and get them out there.
You're such a good promoter. You do your job well.
Thank you.
And you know, I wrote this with the intent. It's a low-cost book. I wrote this so that any corporate leader, trainer, executive can do exactly that. Buy it by the case through Amazon or a local bookstore. I don't care where you get it. It's available anywhere you find books. Don't buy it directly from me because I'm not in the shipping business. I'm in the creative business.
Right.
But share it. And, you know, to answer your question too about how do you get into the hands of the people who don't know about it yet or who don't know they need it, there's an old saying, and I don't know if it's Confucius or what, but when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When people are hungry and ready to learn whatever it is that they want to face, a challenge, a problem, a situation, a work, a job change, a relationship change, they start looking, they start seeking. And there are some people, they're not unicorns. There's a lot of us that are perpetual seekers.
Perpetual, yeah.
But there's a difference between perpetual seekers and perpetual doers. And that's what I'm all about. That's why I have the moniker of 10 Seconds of Boldness and the Boldness Guy, because thinking and making plans is one thing, but actually putting your feet on the ground to do it. And this book will help you do that. It gives you the encouragement to get off your couch and get out there and do it.
Right. Now, before we get too far along, tell us about the Writers Conference. Here's the poster for it.
So the Sonoma County Writers Conference has been had different names. It is a biennial, which means it's every other year. I have 14 different sessions, actually 15 different sessions. We have a keynote speaker by the name of Jeff Goins, who is a 5-time best-selling author, flying out from Tennessee to not only lead the keynote, but he will be teaching a hands-on roll-up-your-sleeves workshop for an hour and a half. That in and of itself is way more worth the drive in a hotel room and the price of admission to get in. Price range for those who are maybe budget conscious and don't want to invest in themselves or don't see the value, it's $125 to $175, depending on whether you're a member of the California Writers Club or anybody.
Nice.
It's open to everybody, Mike. It's the most comprehensive writers conference in the North Bay this fall, period. So we've got stuff on poetry, memoir, craft, editing, storytelling, how to write a short story, and 4 different speakers talking about various specific elements on how to take your published work and get out there and talk about it, teach on it, sell it, and market yourself. So it's a real nice blended program that I'm super thrilled about. Quite honestly, the value the people are going to get is a lot more than what the entry is for registration.
I tell you, our number one viewer profile is people looking for their next book to read, thank goodness. But our second viewer profile is people who are writing books and just haven't been able to get across the finish line. They don't know how to finish writing. Do you think they could benefit from this conference?
Absolutely. You know, everybody's at a different spot in their journey. Some are still thinking about it, or some are blowing the dust off a manuscript or a rough, as Ian Lamont would say, a shitty first draft that's been sitting in a desk drawer for 20 years. But you will get the tools, not just the tools in the training, Mike. You're going to get around other authors who are right where you're at on all levels and learn from some experts who have already gone through some of those bumps. And that's why we have this conference. Our entire motto for the Redwood Writers Club, which is sponsoring this event or hosting it, is Writers Helping Writers.
Nice.
It's not about one-upmanship. This is a collective, collaborative opportunity for people to rub shoulders with others just like them and figure out how to get that book over the finish line.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's scary when you're not there, but when you finally see it in print and you're holding it in your hands, it's like, I did it.
I did it. Yeah, there's nothing more inspirational than being around, like you said, rubbing elbows with people who are doing it, who've got it done, who are trying to do it. You know, it's just on this show, I get to talk to people every day who have done it, and it's inspired me a lot to get out there and finish what I'm working on. We have the web address up, redwoodwriters.org, and you can find information on the conference, I guess, at that website.
Yes, there's a separate tab that has pages dedicated solely to the conference, but redwoodwriters.org, not .com, .org is the site that has not only that, but it has all the other stuff that we have going on. If you're a writer in the Northern California area and you want to come check us out, we meet on the third Saturday of the month. The conference date is October 19th of this year, and it'll be an all-day conference from 8:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock at night.
And by the way, you call it the Redwood Writers Club?
Redwood Writers Club, which is one of 20 branches of the California Writers Club.
I can't tell you how many authors we've had on from all over the world that, you know, just say it's so important to be part of a writers group. And I guess that's what you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
Let's go back.
I got a question for you, Mike. When are you going to finish your book?
Well, books, yeah, far along on several of them, so.
I put you on the spot, but we had that conversation last time. If you haven't seen it, it's out there on
most of us who went to grad school, we have a book. We call it the thesis. Well, I have 2 graduate degrees, so I've got a couple of them floating out there. I want to get back to your book. I know we're going over time already, but today's the day. And also, we have your web address up, ShawnLangwell.com. What will people find at your website?
They'll find a site that, forgive me, as working full-time and an author, it needs to be freshened up, but the basic bare bones of who I am and what I'm all about are in that site. There's some blogs that I've written over the last 5 or 6 years. There's a lot of helpful stuff, and really, whether it's on the website or searching Google with the last interview I did with Mike, anything and everything that I do, Mike, is designed not to just help serve me. My purpose in life is about helping other people, whether it's in business or one-on-one or encouragement or inspiration. It's what I was put on the planet to do, and that may sound arrogant, but it's not. When we find something that we really enjoy, we go do it. And I'll be honest, this book, I wrote this book in less than 90 days. I wrote, edited, and published this book in 90 days, folks. You know why? Because it's already in me. It just came out. And I published it, and I want everybody to share this. I want businesses to order one for every single employee, whether in sales or not, because you will find value in this book, I guarantee it.
Yeah, and again, I have to give meaningless gifts all the time. Birthday gifts, Christmas gifts. This is a great book just to order 10 or 20 of them and have them sitting there. So when you have to give away something, it's not meaningless. It's very meaningful for whoever you're giving the gift to. Shawn, we're way past time. Any last thoughts for our viewers?
One thing that I like to close with, and I appreciate you giving me the time, Mike, is don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever give up on yourself. If there's something, regardless of where you're at as an author or anything in life, there is somebody else who has already gone through whatever it is that you're going through. Reach out and ask for help, especially if you want to publish your book. There's tons of people. There's lots of pirates out there, but there are lots of people who are ready, willing, and able to help you and not rip you off.
Very good. Thank you so much, Shawn. I hope you come back again and again.
I appreciate you having me, Mike. Thank you.
And for our viewers, don't go anywhere because we have another author coming up right after this.